ever wondered what happens to sex offenders once they've been released from prison? Probably not. There are some offenders out there that are living in a normal society and no one even cares. So why should we even bother with the registries? If the law states that every sex offender needs to register with the police, why have we let some slip through our fingers? Just because there was a law that some people didn't have to register up to a certain date, that doesn't mean nothing. It still means there's crime out there. I myself do not believe we need a registry for the sex offenders. If you do the research on sex offenders after they have registered and the public finds out they are living in their neighborhoods, there's cause for more crime. First off is vigilantism. That is where the offender is punished outside the law. Car bombings, house fires, those type of issues come up. After California released its database of sex offenders on a CD-ROM, an ex-offender's car was firebombed. According to Elizabeth Schroeder of ACLU, she stated that the firebombing was an inevitable and predictable result to the release of the CD-ROM, and that the use of the database to alert the public about the identification and whereabouts of the sex offenders will not keep our children safe. In fact, a local child could have been passing by when that bomb destroyed the car. Harassment also happens to sex offenders when they have signs placed in the front yards or names are called that are very rude. In 3 states, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Alabama, there are bills that they're trying to get passed that will give sex offenders a different kind of license plate. And I have an example for one for Wisconsin. As you can see, it clearly states sex offender. Now, my biggest problem with that is what's going to happen if the wife or the girlfriend of the sex offender is driving that car? She didn't do anything wrong, but she may be the one that ends up with trouble. Also, if sex offenders have to drive along with this license plate, they may stop driving. And then what are we going to do to keep track of them? I think it's just silly, all the way around. Meanwhile, homelessness is another matter that offenders must contend with. The law states they cannot live within 1,000 to 2,000 feet of any place that a child can congregate. Parks, schools, churches, playgrounds as examples. So most offenders find these limited options as another form of harassment. Most offenders are required to register with the police, but when given an address, it's usually in a tent, in the woods, under a bridge. They have nowhere else to live. That also is just crazy. If you walk through your neighborhood, there are probably parks, churches, schools, playgrounds, all over the place. Where are these people supposed to live? Are we just supposed to just throw them out on the street and tell them, if you see a child, run the other way? That's just crazy. It is crazy. Another problem for the sex offenders are the ones trying to get jobs. There's always going to be a stigmatism with sex offenders, because even though they may have a really good job or a crappy job, they still need to be able to work. They need to be able to have something to fill their days up that will keep them from wanting to go and hurt more people. Do we just not let them work? Make them sit under a bridge all day long? What's that going to solve? They're going to get antsy and they're going to want to get up and they're going to want to go do something. And there's another crime committed. So we need to let these people live in our neighborhoods with no crime committed. Let them work. At least there's somebody watching them if they're working. They're not out doing whatever they do. If they're working, their parole officer knows where to find them. Their employer knows where to find them. They just can't be left alone with the other sex, which is kind of helpful in this whole situation. But there are definitely opposing arguments to this issue, and I could do both sides because I'm in the middle of a case right now with a friend of mine on a sex offender case. And depending on the severity of the crime, depends on if they should be registered or not. Now, if they committed rape and murder, with their sexual assault, I believe the registry is a good thing because you may be saving somebody else's life. If this is a first time, oh, I just did it once and I don't know why I did it and I'll never do it again. Okay, go on, live your life, give a smack on the hand, let them go. If they do it again, put them on the registry. They're a repeat offender. But not all of them are that way. Some of them just had too much time on their hands. So, if you think there should be a registry, that's fine. But you also have to remember there's also people out there that don't deserve the ridicule of being on that registry. And I want to thank you.